Before we get into this, I want to make something abundantly clear. This is not some start of some inter-content creator beef. This is not me building my reputation by attacking a larger content creator. I'm just using some JD Delay said in this one video and his comment section to illustrate a problem that feeds into a larger problem that we are facing as a society. I expect you all to act responsibly and not to attack JD Delay. In fact, actually check JD Delay out. Some of his earlier content is a bit blowhardy. I don't know what happened in between point A to point B because I did drop him for a while, but when I found him again, he'd actually mellowed out quite a bit and found a way better voice and way better presentation. He's actually pretty cool now. Above average, in fact, when it comes to delivering facts and information that you need to know about content. He admits when he's wrong. Same as yours truly. And that takes a lot to admit when you're wrong. In this video, I don't believe he's entirely wrong, but we just fundamentally disagree on some pointers on this. In this video, he talks about how a content creator got drunk, according to the content creator, and jerked it on a live stream. Now, I think the guy should be suspended and suffer whatever the TOS mandates to be the punishment. JD Delay here is arguing my children, and that this guy made 2 felonies in his state, and another content creator already reported him to his local police, and without looking into the law and how it applies and what the courts have ruled, yeah, good luck with that nonsense. There's a huge difference between exposing yourself to children directly and putting content out that children should not have access to and they may have seen. Realistically, the police, and I might be wrong here, will probably just end up doing nothing about this. Because it's stupid. I'm going to let JD say his piece right here. I'm not going to play the whole video, just a few seconds of it. And then we'll get into the larger issue.
How would you feel if your kid was just scrolling on TikTok and came across a live stream of a dude cranking his hog?
Now, as you all know, the UK passed some censorship laws, and they're using these censorship laws to go after people talking about mass migration and attacking the government, criticizing the government, in fact. The EU is trying to do the same thing, Australia is trying to do the same thing, and America is trying to do the same thing. And all of them use the same argument. Think of the children. And this is where this problem comes from. You have people saying, think of the children, not going after the parents, but think of the children. Now, again, this is sexual content, which is a violation of TOS, so it shouldn't be on the platform. But neither should children. Similar to YouTube, the age requirement for users on TikTok is 13 years old. So that's a teenager. If you're not a teenager, you should not be on TikTok. Period. And yet, we're all told to modulate our behavior. And again, you shouldn't be doing sexual stuff on TikTok. It's, not part of the... It's not allowed under TOS. It's unfortunately that this one dude did sexual content because that really kind of interferes with the messaging. It really interferes with the point I'm trying to get across. Because every time I say we have to modulate ourselves, I'm not referring to what he did. I'm talking about everything that's within TOS that is what is being used as a justification to pass these laws. Well, you can't access porn sites in the UK without using a VPN or other methods to get around the filters. Children should not be on those websites, yet we adults are being punished because other adults don't want to take care of their children. And the reason why these politicians are able to get away with this is because of this mentality. Only one comment here. First crime, letting your kids on TikTok. Everyone else, virtually. There might be a comment here and there disagreeing with it. Not disagreeing with this guy getting punished, but acknowledging that children should not be on TikTok. And you go through, it's like, it's just... And all these people, they vote. They vote. All these people vote. All these people vote. All these people vote. These are all the people who are voting these politicians into power who argue think of the children, who then censor you. And we hop over here to this Grum's tweet. I really hate this. And Grum's is talking about Marvel Rivals has announced that they will record all in-game voice chat in an effort to catch more toxic behavior. And what do we see right here? It's annoying, but the problem is a lot of kids are on these games. And I responded, I fail to see how this is my problem. I don't fail to see that whining like this is why governments are passing age verification laws. What's the age for Marvel Rivals? 13 and older. Us adults and teenagers have to be punished because other adults don't want to parent their children. We have to create safe spaces for children in places that are not meant for children. To understand how absurd this is, imagine if you were told that you can't buy alcohol at bars anymore because of the children. You can't buy alcohol at stores anymore because of the children. Basically, I'm telling you, imagine in Prohibition again, but this time instead of mo woman, it's ma children. Because right now you're being told, oh yeah, we need to pass these censorship laws and government control laws to push internet ID into reality because of ma children. And then as soon as they get this power, it's like, oh yeah, you're no longer going to be criticizing us. Also, we're not releasing the Epstein client list. We're not going to punish anyone who actually harmed children, harmed women, because we don't really care about them. The government, not me. And so long as this mentality of think of much children exists, these politicians are going to use that to get this censorship and control passed. What needs to be talked about is not much children, it's, hey, the TOS, hey, parent your fucking children. I don't have kids, but you know what my kids will be doing? Because let me tell you something about short form content. It damages your ability to concentrate. Yeah, my kids would be not on fucking, doom scrolling stuff. Hell, I need to cut back on my doom scrolling. It's not neurologically good for you. Feel free to Google that. It's a lot more information that I can really relate to in this video, which I'm trying to keep as condensed as possible. They're going to be out there reading books, listening to audiobooks, exercising, enjoying long walks, cardio, swimming, playing sports, touching grass, watching videos and playing games that I deem are age appropriate for them. My parents are actually cool in this regard because I was allowed to play mature games before I was 17, way before. But my parents made sure that I was mature enough to play these games. They asked me questions. And this was about GTA. Like, keep in mind, this is GTA. And I'm running over prostitutes. And they made sure, like, I knew this was just a game and I'm not supposed to do this stuff in real life. And as a kid, because, back then we weren't fucking retarded. We knew this was just games. And as much as I call South Park agitprop nowadays, it was so funny because my parents would ask, like, that South Park teach you swearing? And keep in mind, my parents swore around us all the time. And all, like, me, my sister, I think my brother too, all just straight up called them out. I was like, no, we learned swearing from you. You guys are doing it all the time. They actually had the decency to look embarrassed. And they never brought it up again. But they made sure we were mature enough to play the stuff we played. And I'm not going to say my parents were perfect. There's some issues there that I'm not going to get into. But in this regard, I really respect my parents for how we were brought up in this sense. Our rules were fair. They allowed us to defend ourselves. They realized that, unlike a lot of parents, they understood that they were kids once too. They're the kind of parents who said, like, hey, look, we don't want you to go out drinking, but if you go out drinking, call us to pick you up. Don't, like, be, like, driving home drunk because I'd rather yell at you. I can't remember if parents actually said that because there's so many times you hear that stuff. But I swear they relayed that same sentiment. Just say check in if you're going to be out, late with friends. In that regard, I respect my parents and their standard my parents set in that regard. If I ever have children, is going to be the gold standard which I attempt to exemplify with my children. If you don't want your kids seeing this content, don't let them on these apps. Because there is way worse stuff than some dude jerking it on TikTok. There's way worse content on YouTube. In fact, all my videos are marked not to be shown to kids. I play mature games. I play games with gore galore. I play games with sexy. Yeah, that stuff ain't for kids, my man. Like, you should not be letting your kids see my content unless you deem that they're mature enough to see my content. And I don't really care if that actually would impact my monetization if YouTube ever stops throttling me to allow me to get to monetization. Because I believe that, you should take some consideration when it comes around children. Like, I try not to swear around children. But that's different than, saying, hey, you have to modulate every type of your behavior anywhere at all times because a kid might be present. That's nonsensory. Parent your kids. It's not my job to make sure that they're taken well care of when they're on a game they shouldn't be on. It's not my responsibility to, within TOS, which this guy was not in with TOS, with the guy JD was talking about, to modulate and regulate my content to be kid-friendly when they shouldn't be viewing my content. And if you want to talk about, like, because most of the adpocalypses were literally caused by either this one group that Elon Musk sued out of existence, and then there was... Okay, because here's a fun fact about the first apocalypse. It was not caused by some content creator drama. It was actually caused because Google wasn't delivering what they were promising to corporations. But one of the adpocalypses was partially caused by, again, the same group that Elon Musk got sued out of into oblivion. But like, oh, my children. Content. We don't want our content up against stuff that can harm children. And YouTube, being the eternal bastions of wisdom, did not create a more robust categorization system where they will internally review your content or the general content of your channel and then regulate advertisers based on what they're willing to have their content next to. No, that would make too much sense. Instead, they just started penalizing content creators because of my children. Until this mentality of think of my children, and I say this because in my personal belief, I don't believe people give a fucking rat's ass about children. I believe people are absolutely disingenuous on that issue most of the time. Now, I believe people care about their children to an extent, but let's put it this way. Do you think there would be chemical castration of children being allowed if people really cared about children? Do you think children would be brainwashed and schooled if people actually cared about children? Because I can tell you the Muslim communities, they claim they care about children, and they threaten teachers. They've done it in the UK, and they've done it in America to get this brainwashing removed from schools, and it works. Not saying you should do it. I'm not advocating nothing. I'm just telling you what I've observed. So when Muslims say they care about my children, I'm inclined to believe them because they will actually defend the children. When people say, we care about children, okay, why are you not doing anything about your kids being taught through a one-teen education model, which is literally designed not to educate but to indoctrinate? It is proven to be one of the worst education models possible. All right, why are you not doing anything about issues that are directly going to impact your kids' future? Yeah, see, when people say they care about children, it is most of the time just a virtue signal. or bare minimal surface level. You know, stuff that we all can agree on. Like, yo, people should not be harming children. But in reality, nah, people don't care about children. They show through their actions. And that's why you're not going to get me telling you that, I'm my children, because frankly, I'm not going to dedicate my life to lobbying to get the education model changed. I am not going to go after Big Pharma. I am not going to go after the government cover up of various medical issues that directly impact children. I'm not going to dedicate my life to ensuring Big Pharma CEOs who push those vaccines, which are now shown to have given children heart conditions, are going to see the inside of a prison cell. I'm not gonna, do all that stuff. Like, just no, because I'm not gonna. Because if I tell you I care about my children, that I'm all about my children, I am obliged to do that stuff to some extent or another. I'm either obliged to do it directly or to support someone doing it. And when you see people talking about my children and they're not doing stuff like that, they don't care about my children. They'll care about their children. They want what's best for their children. I am not going to take that away from anyone. Unless obviously they're not doing anything for their children, in which case I'll just straight up call them a hypocritical liar. And frankly, I think a lot more people need to start calling people out on this nonsense. If you really care about your children, build a better future for them. If you really care about your children, do something about the communism and Marxism and deep state, the technological suppression, not climate change. One of the most infuriating things in life is listening to people talk about how much they care about children while doing nothing to help them. But I've ranted enough on this. Let me know what you think down in the comments. And good luck fighting that censorship, guys. Hopefully we can do this peacefully and we won't have to enter a period of great revolution across Europe and America. But who knows? I'll see you next one. Peace.